everyone, Aletha here of Ribbons and Zippers. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome, welcome. Today I am going to be showing you a series of items that is created of my favorite fabric, and that is silk. Right here we have a beautiful dress. It's created by me. I love it, but I'm going to show you all the details in just a few minutes of just how I created it. So if you love silk, stick with me because I am going to be doing a series of dresses, skirts, pants, all made out of gorgeous silk, and I think that you're going to love it. So here is the fabric that I'm going to be using. It is a beautiful pinstripe lightweight silk. It's gorgeous. So here's my sketch. I am going to make the dress with a nice angel sleeve, a choker collar, and I will be doing a high waist with a short bodice. Okay, so as you can see, I've already drafted my pattern. It is based on my own measurements. So I have here my front bodice. This is my front bodice. And then also to my back bodice. So as you can see from my sketch, I have off the shoulder on one side, sleeve on the other side, as well as the choker collar. So I have work to do. So what I'm going to do is just get started. Okay, everyone. So as you can see, I've added my seam allowance to my neckline and all around my pattern for my front bodice. Let me just turn it around here so you can see a little bit better. Okay. I'm going to place it on the fold and cut out the whole bodice, the front and the back, and then I'm going to try it on and then make my neckline, because you remember I have one sleeve and then the other side is just off the shoulder. So for one side of my bodice, I am going to put a zipper here along the side, but I need to raise it up about 1 inch. So my side seam is going to have a zipper. So let me go ahead and cut this out. So I'm going to go ahead and install my zipper here on the side seam. Then I'm going to try it on. And then I'm going to manipulate the muslin on my body so that I can have a mock-up to begin with. Okay, so here it is. I have my front bodice in muslin and I have my back bodice. And remember, I created it from the bodice blocks that I created from my size. And now I need to just put the darts. I want to make sure that it has a nice fit, so I'm going to add my darts. And also I'm going to install my zipper and try it on. So the left side is going to be off the shoulder. I need to determine how low it's going to be in the front and the back, and I'll be back. So now that I have a perfect fit, I'm going to use this whole mock-up as a guide for pleating my bodice. So I'm going to show you how that's done. Okay, so here we are. I've pinned my bodice along the stripes with the grain line. I drew a grain line to make sure that I remain straight. And as you can see, these stripes are small, but I'm going to pleat all the way across the shoulder, and I'm going to pleat all the way on the front side of the bodice, and I'm going to do the same on the back. So this is the beautiful effect of the pleating, and as you can see, what I've done is I've used my mock-up as a guide to pleat my bodice. So the pleats run along the shoulder and the front neckline, and this is what it looks like on the other side. You see the pleating? And here's the beautiful effect. So I'm going to remove the pins and show you what it looks like on the mannequin. At this point, I've decided to add a waistband. I ruched the waistband. I love it. And that's what happens. As a designer, you make changes, and that's okay. So I'm going to work on the back part and turn it into this. It turned out really gorgeous, and I am so happy with it. And so now I need to go ahead and create the lining for the bodice. Okay, so my lining is cut exactly as the toile from my muslin, and I've also added a 2-inch waistband. So now I need to install my lining. Here's my completely lined bodice. Came out great. So next up, I am going to work on the neckband for my choker collar. So here is my neckband, and it's 10 inches because I want my neckband to be 20 inches around, because I'm also taking into consideration my buttonhole. So I'm going to mark each one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so go ahead and mark just a half of a centimeter. Let's see, right about here. So about a half a centimeter or 3/16 of an inch that comes out to be. Okay, so as you can see, I slit my lines between box 1 and 2 and between 2 and 3, and I kept, do not cut the line between 3 and 4, leave that as it is. Slit your line between 4 and 5 and 5 and 6. Okay, like that. Again, 2 and 3, bring 2 over to 3, like that, to the quarter, a half-inch centimeter line, or the 3/16 line, whichever one you did, and tape. As you can see, it's starting to round out here. And then you're going to bring 5 over to 4, like that. So bring 5 over to 4, only to the line that you created, right about there. Tape, and then again the 6. And tape. And so there we have it. This is going to be my collar. So I need to add a 1/2-inch seam allowance to my pattern. And so I'm just using my curved ruler. You can use any curved ruler. So I need to add my 1/2-inch seam allowance, and at the same time with my chalk, I'm creating a curve. Okay, so here's the seam allowance. I'm going to make 2 of these and start sewing right along the seams here. Okay, so I've attached my choker collar to my bodice, and I've created the ruching effect as well on the collar, and I've also attached the lining to the bodice And now it's time to create the angel sleeve. So I've drafted one half of my sleeve. I have to draw the grain line and then I'm going to do the other half. So I'll fold it in half and then I'll use my needle point tracing wheel to transfer all of my markings, and then after I'm done tracing, then I'm just going to cut it out. Okay, so I'm measuring 2 inches on either side of my shoulder seam because I am creating the same type of pleating effect on my angel sleeve that you saw me do on the neckline of the bodice and on the shoulder of the bodice. And to do that, I need to pleat and chalk and pleat and chalk until I go all the way around the shape of the angel sleeve pattern. And then I'll just go ahead and complete the shape and cut it out. So since silk can be a very slippery fabric, I like using the chalk to create my lines before I cut, and that way I get a very accurate cut. Okay, so here's what it looks like. The pleating came out perfect. I love this angel sleeve. So now I just need to press my seams open here. Okay, so let's take another look at this gorgeous pleating effect on my angel sleeve. So pretty. Okay, so I've turned my seams under in half and I've edge stitched to give the seam a nice finish look. So I'm going to finish my sleeve with a rolled hem or a baby hem. And to do that, what I'm doing is sewing very close to the raw edge. So I find that this particular type of hem is the best for this angel sleeve. So as you can see, I've folded the edge of the hem very close to my first stitch and I'm sewing on top of that fold very close to the first stitch, and this is what it looks like. Okay, I'll trim here and then I'll roll the hem and then I'll top stitch to. Okay, so now I've attached my sleeve and now I'm hand stitching my pleats at the seam where my shoulder seam is so that each pleat is matching perfectly. And this is what it looks like. So I'm going to attach the rest of my lining to my dress, but before I do, I'm creating here gathers. So I'm going to gather the skirt portion of my lining, you see, and then I'm going to attach it. Okay, so here's my lining. By the way, it's made out of silk pongee and it's beautiful. All right, so here's my skirt, and Of course, I'm going to do the same pleating. I love this pleating effect. And this is going to give my skirt movement and fullness. All right. And so here's what it looks like. All pleated and ready to attach to my waistband. Okay, so now that I've attached my skirt to my bodice, I am going to ruche my bodice, the front and the back, in the same manner that I did for the waistband. And look, you can see here on my choker collar the ruching effect. So this is what I'm going for on my bodice. Okay, as always, before ironing silk, protect it with an ironing cloth, whether it's organza or whatever type of ironing cloth you use. That's very important. Okay, I'm all done. So this is what it looks like. I think it turned out really, really pretty. And that is my ruching effect on my bodice. Okay, let's move on to the pockets. All right, so I am only going to trace out my pockets, and then I'm going to cut them out and set them aside, because in the next video I'm going to go ahead and install my pockets on the zipper side of the dress, and in the next video we'll watch how that's done. Okay, that's it for this section. Next up, I am going to show you how I put on my side zipper, but what's really important is my pocket on the side where the zipper is. So, going to show you how simple that is, and then we're going to continue on until the finish of the dress. So I'll see you back here next time. And don't forget to like and subscribe.